breaking into coverage right now for an update for you. We have a tornado warning in parts of Fairfield and Newberry County that just came into the newsroom. We want to give you a live look at the weather radar right now. This came in the last several minutes here. It is lasting until 9 p.m. We just got word of this tornado warning about 10 minutes ago. It's for west central Fairfield County, central Newberry County. And again, this has winds capable of moving it up to 45 miles an hour. Tornado hazard for these affected areas. Again, you're looking at the radar right now. We have a tornado warning for Fairfield County, parts of Newberry County. Impact could potentially be some flying debris, so you want to look out and be aware of those things. The National Weather Service is saying that flying debris could be, cause for concern here. They're saying mobile homes could possibly be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles could all occur here. Also, be on the lookout. Tree damage is likely. So, of course, if you're in these areas, you may want to stay inside and avoid the roads if at all possible. And so this dangerous storm is going to be near Newberry, Prosperity, specifically centered in the Newberry College area, nearby Newberry County Airport, around 8:35 p.m. Other locations possibly impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include the Newberry County Detention Center, Mabington Fire Station, 176, South Carolina 34 Crossroads, Bush River Fire Station, Henderson Island, the Ranger District Office, Silver Street. We should note this also includes I-26 between mile markers 66 and 78. So some precautionary measures are advised from the National Weather Service here. Take cover. If you're in a mobile home or a car, move to an interior room, they're advising, or a closet on the lowest floor of a sturdy building immediately. So just to reiterate, some information just came into the newsroom. There's a tornado warning for parts of the viewing area right now. This happening in west central Fairfield County. Also, central Newberry County. Again, the warning as of right now is expected to go until 9 o'clock. We have interrupted your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this latest news and updates here. You're taking a live look right now at the weather radar. And in just a few minutes, we'll have our meteorologist, Eric Zernick, will be able to provide a more fulsome update on the conditions and exactly what to expect. But of course, the advice here would be not to travel in this. And they're saying that this could have wind speeds up to around 45 miles an hour that could be produced. Be on the lookout, possibly flying debris. If you're in a mobile home, that is also cause for concern. So I believe we have Eric available to speak to us. We're going to bring him in, and he can give you all an update on exactly what's going on. Eric.
Yeah, so taking a look at the velocities, this kind of shows you where there possibly could be some rotation with this system, which might have prompted this tornado warning. You can see just to the north of Newberry, where we have the green and reds kind of coming together. That's what could be where we're maybe seeing some rotation. So just kind of to the northeast of Newberry, but it's not overly that defined. And the system does seem like it looks to be weakening some now as we push off to the north. So here's that close-up look of the radar. You can see here, this is our tornado warning, which goes for another 10 minutes or so. There was some better hook angles on this a little bit to the south of Newberry, but now that it's pushed to the north, you can see not a whole lot of lightning with this system. It's definitely showing some signs of weakening, not nearly as strong as it was when it did prompt the tornado warning. So I wouldn't be surprised as we get closer to 9 o'clock, this would be able to expire. Again, this was just radar indicated. There's no confirmed tornado on the ground, but still take it seriously. So if you do live in this portion on northern Newberry County, this is where you need to head for shelter, just in case for the possibility that there could be some rotation. But from what I am looking at right now, we're not really seeing a whole lot that would indicate there would be a tornado on the ground. But again, this is moving to the northeast of Newberry, just to the south and east of Whitmire, and pushing off to the northeast pretty quickly. It is moving at a good speed, so we could still have some damaging wind gusts with this, maybe up to 60 miles per hour. So that is what we're looking at. But again, if you are in this, take it seriously, but the good news is it does look to be weakening. I'm going to step over and show you that velocity map one more time, kind of showing you a little bit more of what we're looking at here. And again, you can see we're still seeing some reds and greens coming together. That shows that possibility of outbound and inbound winds. So when you have them coming like that, that could help to possibly get a little bit of some spin in the air, but we're not seeing a ton of rotation anymore with this system. It does, and just at the National Weather Service, they're saying it does look like it's getting broader and weakening. So that's like what I was saying. So that's all we're looking at right now. And they were looking at the possibility of a second little rotation trying to develop with this just to the north of 26. So that would be on the north side of Newberry, still within the warning area. So they're going to let it go with that as we continue to watch it. But we'll go back to radar and look at this one more time. Again, this is an hour loop kind of showing you as it moved through Newberry. That's where we saw the possibility for some of the more better signs of rotation with this as it was pushing into the area. But again, we still have this tornado warning. That is why we're on air interrupting your programs on this Saturday evening because of this potentially dangerous cell as it now works its way to the north and east as we push a little bit later on into the evening. Again, this is now moved to the north of center of Newberry. So this is in northern Newberry County, no longer the city of Newberry being affected by this system. And again, just to the south and east of Whitmire as it continues to race off to the north and northeast. Again, this is moving pretty quickly at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So it is moving at a good clip, and we did see that possibility of some rotation, but it does look like with these latest scans, it is beginning to weakening, so that is the good news, and that would be the sign of what we would expect. As we continue to push later on into the night, the atmosphere is just not as strong as it was earlier in the day when we had a couple of those severe thunderstorm warnings that did produce some damaging wind gusts, especially out towards Elgin and in northeast Richland County, where we had a couple storm reports of some trees down, knocking down power lines and things like that. So that was something that we were keeping a very close eye on. But again, with these latest returns, I'm not seeing a whole lot on the radar. But again, we still have this tornado warning for northeastern portions of Newberry County along with Fairfield County for another about 7 minutes until 9 o'clock. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do let this expire as things are looking a little bit weaker. I'm going to step off again and kind of see what the latest information is coming in out of the National Weather Service over at the airport. And again, they're still looking for the possibility of that second weaker rotation up to the north as it continues to push off. So we're still keeping an eye on that. Let's see if we flip it over to this. This would show if there's any debris getting picked up. This is kind of helps tracks and let us know if there is any possible tornadoes. Not really seeing anything there, so that is the good sign with that debris tracker. But again, flipping it over to velocities, still looking at some of these greens and reds coming together. So you see the green and the red like that. That shows that possibility of maybe a little bit of some rotation within that cell. So that's why they're still keeping it up for another 5 to 6 minutes until we get to 9 o'clock to officially let this expire instead of letting it go already just because of that possibility. But as we continue to look on these returns, you can see how drastically how much those darker shades have gone down over the last 10 to 15 minutes, showing how the system is weakening as it pushes off to the north and east. So again, it does look like things are definitely improving with this cell. Now, we'll take a bigger look at what we're watching for later on this evening. So here's our big picture on the satellite and radar. So we have these storms that just clipped our far western communities and did prompt that tornado warning in Newberry County, but you can see it is definitely weakened. Continuing the ride up towards the Chester Rock Hill area, just to the south of Charlotte, still seeing some decent storms up in that region, but we still have some of this lighter rain that does look like it'll be pushing into a good portion of the Midlands. So do expect at least some lighter rain for most of us as we go through the next several hours from this activity to our south and east. But there is still that main front off to our west, back across Georgia, still even to the west of Atlanta. And that is what we're expecting to move through during the overnight hours. And that's what could pack a little bit of a punch, because that's where the main gusty winds are. So once that moves through, that's when the winds will really start to ramp up. And we could start to have some wind gusts up to 30 to 40 miles per hour. We'll have to watch for maybe strong severe thunderstorm warning and possibly an isolated rotation within that cell as well. So this is a lot going on, but we'll continue to keep a close eye on that system up towards the Newberry area. Here is that latest tornado warning. Again, things are looking much better as it continues to weaken, moving off to the north and east, but they're still going to go with this for a few more minutes, so that's why we'll stay on air until it officially vanishes from our screen. But it does look like the worst of it has since moved out and is definitely well to the north and east of Newberry as it makes its way off and out of the region. So that is something we're keeping a very close eye on. But again, it does look like things will be improving and this should be able to expire here within the next 3 minutes. Not really seeing that rotation, but if there would be any of it, it would be right here just to the north of Interstate or Highway 10 or 34, that is, just to the south and east of Whitmire. So we'll be keeping an eye on this as it continues to push to the north and east, but it does look like, at least from what we're seeing on radar, things are improving as far as the cell is concerned. But it was a fairly powerful system and did prompt the National Weather Service to put out this tornado warning. So just something we'll be keeping an eye on here for at least a few more minutes as it continues to work off to the north and east. Again, here's that bigger picture look of what we're watching out for the rest of this evening. So it's just been coming in at different waves. We had those earlier ones in the afternoon that were on the stronger side that had some wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour that did take down a couple trees out towards the Elgin and northeast Richland County area. We had some other severe thunderstorm warnings that moved through Lexington and Fairfield County that produced a fair bit of lightning with that system as it moved through around dinner time. And then we have this latest one that has moved through Newberry that did cause that tornado warning that we're on the air for to let you know about that potential danger. So let's go back to that again. Here's that tornado warning that we're watching now as it makes its way into the northeastern portions of Newberry County and tries to clip into the very far northwestern portions of Fairfield County. This goes for about another 90 seconds or so. And I think at that point, as we get closer to 9 o'clock, this will be able to expire as things continue to look like they're deteriorating as far as this cell is concerned. So that continues to be the good news with it. You can just see as we have this hour loop on it, how much darker shades there were earlier as it moved over Newberry. That's when that warning was first prompted. But now as it moves off to the north and east, things are definitely improving as far as the darker shades are concerned. So it does look like it is weakening and losing its thing, becoming much broader as a cell, not as defined, not as close as far as that rotation was concerned. So it does look like things are improving with this. So we'll just stay on for another minute or so until we officially see it dropped. But that is what prompted us to get on air, just to kind of warn people about this potential system. Again, it was radar indicated. We've had no confirmed reports of any tornadoes in the area. We'll have to see in the coming hours if there is any damage reports that come out of the Newberry area due to this. But you can see it's now just to the south and west of Clayton around Gibsonburg. Yeah, there's where we're maybe seeing the possibility of a weak little bit of rotation with this, where there could be maybe a brief spin-up tornado trying to develop as it makes its way off to the north and east. But really, we're not seeing a whole lot with this system. But if there was anything to develop, it would be right around there where you see, again, those reds and greens coming together just to the south and west of Clayton. So definitely, if you live in the city of Clayton or have some friends and neighbors, either way, I would let them know that they should be heading to their safe locations as we go through the coming days. But as we look at the big picture, we'll try to see, yes, it does look like the tornado warning has been able to expire. So that is the good news. So we'll send it over to Nick so we can kind of get back to regular scheduled programming. But at least for now, it does look like the tornado warning has been able to expire. So back to you, Nick.
Thank you so much, Eric. So, of course, we did have that tornado warning for parts of Fairfield and Newberry County up until 9 o'clock. And as you heard Eric just say just there, it appears as though that was allowed to expire. As we hit the 9 o'clock hour, we'll, of course, have our news at 10 and 11 coming up. Thank you for being with us.